The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we deconstruct the news pertaining to your health, fitness, and diet, and where we can encourage your participation by, dialing our number, which is
877-927-6648.
Hey, we got it down.
We're all synchronized.
And the temperature here is 88 degrees. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, folks. Happy Friday. And we're just hanging out here and talking about what we think is some really good stuff, because we've got a brand new Health Signals newsletter out there.
We do. And guys, if you're not subscribing to the Health Signals newsletter, someone said in the chat room that they love the newsletter. We know you will too. So take advantage of it and get subscribed today so you don't miss an issue.
I got a message from one of our listeners, Alan, who sent me this poem, which I put at the back of the newsletter. And, the other day we were talking about how to center yourself and how to really talk yourself into things and out of things. That's what we normally do. And you really need to, really have a good conversation with yourself to set yourself up the right way.
That's right. Well, like I like to say, everything that you're thinking, your cells are listening. So your thoughts are communication.
And I think the mind really doesn't know any difference between somebody else thinking. In other words, somebody telling you something. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think you have a bigger influence over yourself. So by saying negative things to yourself, I think that impacts you negatively, and then you start to believe those things, and says, oh, how stupid am I? And we say these things all the time, and I think it's important that we actually encourage ourselves to say, hey, I do make mistakes, I'm a normal person, but I'm better today than I was tomorrow, and, all those kinds of positive things. But I wanted to read this poem, which was written in 1934 by Dale Wimbrow, and it's called The Man in the Mirror. When you get all you want and you struggle for pelf, and pelf was an interesting word I thought he used there, because pelf is something that you get dishonestly. So it's kind of interesting. So when you get what you want and you struggle for pelf and the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the man has to say. For it isn't your mother, your father, or wife whose judgments upon you must pass, but the man whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. He's the fellow to please, never mind the rest, for he's with you right to the end, and you've passed your most difficult test. If the man in the glass is your friend, you may be like Jack Horner and chisel a plum, and you think you're a wonderful guy, but the man in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. You can fool the whole world down the highways of years and take pats on the back as you pass, but your final reward will be headache and tears if you cheated the man in the glass.
I love that. And that word pelf, I had never seen that word pelf. But what that really says to me when you said it's getting things in a dishonest way, is that what you said? What that really speaks to me is that unless you are being true to your true self, which is what you're seeing when you look into the eyes of your true higher self, then you are in fact getting things that aren't in an honest way, because you're not being true. To your true self. Yeah,
fooling yourself is the worst crime, really.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
fooling other people. I'm sure there's a saying in there somewhere. I was reading something from the Bulletproof Executives, and really talking about sneaky ways that foods can kind of zap your energy. And I think it's important to go over this, because we're really a society based on foods that do that. And one of the things he was talking about was beans and lentils, but really I think he's talking about the whole seed based formula for food that we have.
So would you think that has to do a lot with the fact that those are foods that have those anti-nutrients?
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
And so for those of you that are just joining us and aren't aware, what we find is that food, seeds, and these kind of things,
right,
and some nuts and so forth, have phytic acid, which is there to protect it. Just like we have this structure, this core structure that protects our critical organs for survival and reproduction.
Yes.
That those phytic acids are producing that. So people wonder why they have digestive issues, but these are actually designed to protect.
Yeah, and just think about it, folks, that seeds are in hibernation until the time when you give them enough sunlight and enough liquid, water, to start the whole process of life. So there are actually insecticide type of materials in there to ward off predators, which
so
are
let's use the
birds
word
and
natural insecticide.
yeah, natural. Right.
God created, or the plant created, natural essential oils. Some of them
Right.
are essential oils, some of them are these phytic acids. And when you said that, it's to remind the seed, nut, etc., to stay in that state until it receives the signal to become a tree.
Right, and actually to ward off the predators, so the predators aren't eating a bunch of these. They'll eat some of them, but they always know that there is a downside to eating too many of them, and this way the seeds survive.
And the species continues.
And the species continue, because when a plant throws off seeds, the more it throws off, the more the chance for it to survive and not being eaten. So a plant like the wheat, which in the beginning was real small seed pod, but now we've grown it because
of the hybridization.
Yeah, because of that. And now the stalks have many, many seeds on them that are thrown about. So seed-based diets. But the actual lentils and potatoes and all these kinds of seed-based things have certain nutrients that we don't want, and they will slowly make you sick. So no peas, no butter beans, no any kind of... I mean, if you eat just a little bit of them, probably not going to harm you. But if you eat them as a staple, and I think this is the real point, because we do eat a lot of these things as a staple. I mean, I think one of the worst things in the world probably is starting your day off with a carbohydrate that has a bunch of anti-nutrients in it. Also, lots of sugar reactions in your body because of the starch in it. And now you're setting up yourself to not only have a bad day, bringing you down, but also starting the whole process of that sugar burn, using fuel that is not real natural for us, starting your day burning sugar. And if you start your day burning sugar, then you're not going to kind of switch over to the fat burning unless you do something really drastic.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, one of the other foods that's mentioned in this article is foods like tomatoes and potatoes, which are also out of the zone, maybe tough digesting. That brings me to the point that from a nutritional standpoint, we know that actually tomatoes are more nutritious cooked.
Yes, they are.
The lycopene is more, and that again may be due to the seeds interfering with the absorption of these valuable phytochemicals.
The nightshades, some people really have a lot of problems with nightshades. I don't have too much of a problem, but I don't eat a lot of them. I'll use them as garnish only. And I think seeds and beans and things like that, if you treat them that way, then you're not going to have too much of a problem. But
or you prepare them correctly.
Yeah, you certainly prepare them correctly, and beans need to be really soaked a lot.
Right.
I know my mother soaked them for like 2 days, and she'd skim off the water and take that bubbling and, you know, put new water in there all the time. And then finally, at the end of it, then she'd cook them and probably cook them twice.
Right.
And then, you know, these are kind of things that really do help those things become not really nutritious, but at least have the anti-nutrients out of them. And that's kind of what we want. The evil things that beans do, he says, take kidney beans, for example. Only a few raw kidney beans can kill you because of the natural reoccurring lectins that bind the sugar coating onto your red blood cells and makes them stick together until you get abdominal clotting.
Not abdominal, abnormal.
Abnormal, excuse me. Yeah, abnormal. In your abdomen.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. And that's really key there. And, you know, the blood type diet, Dr. Diadamo talks a lot about the lectins that are involved. And, you know, there are certain blood types that are more, have more lectins that create a situation where there's more clotting involved. So these food lectins are important to pay attention to.
Yeah, and if you take like the culture of the Mexican people, where they use beans and rice, there's a nice formulation there, because when you cook beans and rice together, they kind of complete the natural protein into a whole protein that is easier to digest than if you take either one of them separately. So, when I guess the Mexican people started running out of animals, perhaps, or it was harder to find animals, they started turning to these things, but they kind of found the formula.
Right.
And that's what's happened with many of the products. You take things like coffee beans. Well, there's a lot of types of things that we do to coffee beans before it's actually a fruit that is healthy for us. You can't eat raw coffee beans. You can have them green and aged, and they seem to work pretty well. But the coffee bean right off the tree, you're not going to eat them. That's
what we're seeing a lot of the green coffee bean extracts as a high antioxidant used in weight loss. That's a whole other thing too. Because we do believe. Research says that the average American is getting their antioxidants from coffee, and we're cool with coffee. We just want you to help make your coffee even healthier by making sure it's organic and using it as a vehicle to deliver other superfoods such as coconut oil and your fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, and K, and that you get in grass-fed butter and that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But we also know there's some issues with, in fact, coffee that is roasted is technically an acrylamide. True? I mean, but the antioxidants are kind of protecting it, so it's a fine line there. You want to probably get the healthiest that you can get, but
and also there's mold that forms in coffees, so they do need to be fresh. They do need to be stored properly. So there's a lot of things that you need to pay attention to when you're consuming those things.
I wanted to tell you, when you pointed out that point, the evil things that beans do by potentially causing abnormal blood clotting due to the lectins, and because what that really is that the body sees those lectins that are similar, the antigens on those blood cells of those different blood types looks amazingly like that lectin. So we create this situation that creates, again, a fight.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, so when we say abnormal clotting and that kind of thing, we think of what we call the rouleau effect. We see a lot of, if you look at blood under a microscope, you'll see the blood cells clumping. Have you ever seen that rouleau effect? Looks like a stack of coins.
Right.
That's not an ideal situation. The blood cells are clotting. You're not getting the maximum oxygenation. What are two key ways that we can make sure that we don't have that rouleau effect, other than avoiding, lectins that interfere with normal clotting? You know what the other two are?
Well, I would say it has something to do with the fat.
Well, that may actually have something to do with it, but I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
And one of them is grounding.
Okay.
Because we get that proper electrical. So getting natural, I kind of like to call it the zeta potential between our cells, the cell membranes, and the charge that's going on in the body is optimal.
Vibration.
So grounding and fulvic and humic acids. Fulvic and humic acids increase zeta potential, and guess what?
It's in the Primal Edge. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Primal Edge later on, too. So please give us a call at 877-927-6648. Take time to look at my Health Signals newsletter, and there's a lot of great stuff in there besides just poetry, folks. So stick around. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Paige Clarke with Living a Primal Lifestyle, and I'm here with my co-host, Nico Haan. And you know what's really cool about our show is we're here to talk about health, fitness, and diet. And, you know, we have open minds, and we're looking at the research, the cutting-edge research, and we like to dissect things that we see.
Yes, we do.
And we can bounce things off of each other. I came across an article that I wanted to run by you because I consider you the expert on exercise. Pre-workout nutrition, how to maximize your chances to burn fat. And, Nico, you know, some of the people out there might not know, but I round up to saying that I'm 5 foot. Okay, so I'm just barely 5 foot. So as a woman, my age, you know, even though I'm doing what I'm doing, that 10 pounds on me can be, you know, a tough thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, combined with, you know, stress and stuff, that's what I think is one of the issues. But I am always looking for ways to work on maximizing my youth hormones naturally through exercise and through diet and doing it right. And, you know, there's so many schools of thought of that.
Yeah,
and I saw this article because the other thing that's interested me, you know, is longevity and how do we do that. And we all know that research has shown that calorie mimetics or calorie restriction actually up to about 30% actually is a key longevity indicator. Yeah. Now, but the key is what a lot of people don't understand is that doesn't mean you can starve yourself. It must be calorie restriction but nutrient-dense foods. Right. That's what we get when we eat real food, not processed food. Right. That's what we get when we eat, you know, fat-soluble nutrition from clean animal foods raised the right way, etc. But this article said A growing body of research indicates that nature selects underfed species for extended lifespan, and vice versa. It shortens the life expectancy of overfed species. Humans are no exception. The human body evolved to thrive under nutritional stress.
Yeah. And really what we're talking about, Paige, is not so much, we're talking about calorie restriction, but we're really talking about protein restriction in a sense. Okay, remember we have 3 natural foods that are macronutrients.
Macronutrients, right.
The protein, the fat, and the carbohydrates.
And only the first 2 are essential.
And the first 2 are essential, which is the fat, of course, and the protein. And then the carbohydrates, which we use extensively today, is what people are eating, and that's certainly what a lot of people are doing before a pre-workout.
And just to interject, those of us that, like what we're doing, is we're trying to encourage people to use real food, traditional foods, prepared traditional ways that are healthy, stay away from the packaged food. You know, we can get that nutrition through those 2 food types. Carbohydrates can be, there are some healthful things in carbohydrates, but there are some unhealthful, as we just talked about in the previous segment.
It's a double-edged sword, in a sense, because the carbohydrates are difficult to process. The ones that aren't difficult to process are the real simple carbs, a very simple food that has rocket-like fuel in it that we don't need a lot of, and that's what we're consuming a lot of.
And if we get too much of it, it goes right on our hips and thighs and butts.
It certainly does that,
belly.
because all of a sudden, if you're a sugar burner, you stop the fat burning. You cannot burn fat while you're burning sugar.
And that's where I got with this article, because there's so many people that are starting their workouts with their pre-workout drinks, and so how in the world can you possibly get to a fat burning stage when you're loading up on carbs or sugars or food, and then you're not able to deplete those glycogen stores, which tells your body to rebuild, right?
For an average person, it takes you about an hour of strenuous exercise to get you from that burning sucrose to burning the fat, the ketones.
However,
now if you're a highly polished athlete, you can probably trick your body into doing a little bit easier, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes for some people. It's different, and so. But why not start in the fat burning zone and then have the little backpack of carbohydrates stored in your muscles when you need them for extra exertion?
So that's what this article was saying, is just what you said. I mean, the whole idea is we're hearing more and more about intermittent fasting. But this article really brought into the idea of intermittent fasting with exercise during those fasting periods. In other words, and a lot of people go, oh, no, I've got to work out, I've got to eat something so that I'll have energy for the workout. That actually really stimulates, going into releasing the glycogen stores.
Right.
And so I really thought that that's a lot of the reasons why, if you do your walk, even if you get up in the morning and, you don't go and
you don't need anything. You can just go out for your walk.
Right.
You don't need any food. And if you do eat some food, why not have a little protein with some fat in it, and then,
or you just have your Tiger Brew coffee.
Or have your Tiger Brew coffee.
Sip on that, and then start your exercise. Do your intensity, so that you're starting to deplete those glycogen stores. Well, I kind of
say treat your body like you would on a normal day. In other words, on a normal day, if you wake up and you don't have anything, you're doing fine. If you have that cereal or your juice in the morning, you're setting yourself up for a bad day because of the way the body works in burning the fuel. Really important stuff, Paige. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, and you can literally transform your body to better survive and resist age-related deterioration by depleting your energy reserves, doing it right, eating the right food at the right times, and that's what we're here to help you do.
That's right. 877-927-6648. Please give us a call. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Paige and I have a meetup with this group called Bradenton Paleo Meetup Group, and tomorrow they're coming over to my house.
I know, we're going to have a little party.
Yeah, a little cookout or potluck party, and there's about maybe 8 of people jumping in a car and coming down to see us. And
Jasmine runs Bradenton Paleo. Yes. You might want to go on Facebook. You could join it. She's got some great posts. And
yeah, and if you want to schedule that with them, just join the party and come on down and see us. And she'll give you the address that we're holding this little meetup. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the number here is 877-927-6648. And please take time to look at our Health Signals newsletter and check that out, because I've got a new one that's out there right now. So now, Paige, you've been on this little kick of going A to Z, and I know we're still in the A's.
We're A's and B's somewhere.
Yeah, and it's kind of a rejuvenation. We're talking about our nutrients or diseases that really impact our society today. So what are we talking about now?
Yeah, so kind of what I'm doing is I'm covering, and of course we're not diagnosing disease, we're providing information, and we are biological computers.
Okay.
So we operate on information. And I think that nutrition in the way of foods, nutrition in the way of water, nutrition in the way of thoughts, all impact our health.
Yeah.
So we're kind of talking about symptoms or things that people have. And, you know, we're going to move through A through Z, but I want you guys to know as we're going along, it's probably going to take all year. If there's something that you want me to talk about and share some thoughts or ideas of how you can help your body heal itself, go ahead and email me, Paige, at TFNN.com, and I'll try and include it in the next show. Sure. Meanwhile, we'll just kind of progress. In fact, a few people emailed me this week. You know, last week we talked a little bit about arthritis. We talked about osteoporosis, kind of the cause of why we have these things. I talked a little bit about rheumatoid arthritis and touched on autoimmunity. And I had someone ask me about psoriasis, which is actually considered a form of arthritis. And did you know that for people that have arthritis or psoriasis, 8 to 20, you know, I mean, it's increased from 8% earlier in this century to over 28% of the people. And we believe this is tied to this rapid increase in these plastic fats or hydrogenated fats or trans fats. So what we find out is that if you have these conditions, okay, if you know someone has psoriasis, plaques, 75% of the people, if they completely eliminate hydrogenated fats or trans fats, they can remove the situation. That's a big player.
I have no doubt about that.
So the situation we've got is, remember how I always use the little example, you know, these plastic fats, the cell membrane is made of vibrating natural essential fatty acids that need to vibrate. Problem is those trans fats don't vibrate. So it's like putting a piece of plastic saran wrap on your cell membrane. So they're not able trying to breathe through that. Our cells don't have it. But one of the reasons that I think that olive oil is so helpful in Mediterranean societies is that although it's not an essential fatty acid, because those are 6s and 3s, it's better, it's neutral, and the body will grab that in the deficit of of the omega-3s or the omega-6s. It'll grab that omega-9 and use that as a fill-in, you know, until it gets the right ones. But getting back to the psoriasis,
you know, Paige, just not to interject too much here, but one thing we do notice, of all the diseases that we talk about, they're all increasing. You know, from about 50 years ago, maybe 100 years ago, some
when
of
these
them,
fake fats came into play.
when these fats and these foods and these cereals and all these things kind of came together, and they all are increasing. So when you mention one disease, folks, you can kind of think about all the different problems that we have are increasing because of the way we feed ourselves.
Well, it all comes down to nutritional deficiency and toxic excesses. I mean, what else is there?
Right.
Really, the body needs information,
right,
and it needs the right kind of information, and it is totally capable of doing the things.
And if it's totally inflamed, then it's dealing on an emergency level in a sense.
And one of the reasons, you know, there's so much in these grocery stores, even in the natural health food business, you're still seeing packaged and boxed things, and guys, they're sneaky. It can say 0% on trans fat on the label, but then if you look at the written part of the ingredients, it can say partially hydrogenated oil, which is a trans fat. Because
a certain percentage can be in there.
As long as it's under 1%, so it could be 0.87%, that's still a trans fat. So that's something to think about. So if you're suffering from psoriasis, that's one of the things I want you to know. So we want to increase the essential fatty acids. Nico and I are going to be sharing a lot more information about essential fatty acids, or what I like to refer to is parent essential oils, the actual non-denatured, non-destroyed pieces of the omega-3 and the omega-6 that we need and we may not be getting. The other thing is, if you have psoriasis, sunshine is very good for you. You know, getting that vitamin D level up, and actually the areas that you're having these outbreaks will really help.
And we're always being told to stay out of the sun, too. That's another problem that we have.
And we've talked extensively about that, that it's not, you know, we know that all these fat-soluble nutrients, the vitamin D included, can get out of balance, because the fat-soluble nutrients, A, D, E, and K, they all share the same cell receptor. So that's why why traditionally some fermented cod liver and so forth were very attractive to these traditional cultures, because you got some of all of them in there in the perfect balance in nature. You know, problem with it is now a lot of these oils are not processed in the right way, and in fact, many people that are buying fish oils today are getting overloads of their derivatives of DHA and EPA, and you know, there's a lot of different science, and that's what I do. I constantly want to research and figure out who's thoughts resonate with me, and sometimes they're different. But I want you to also be aware when we see psoriasis, without getting too much in the chemistry, it's really, it's an issue going on in the liver too, and the inability to produce a certain, break down certain things. It's an enzyme that's in the liver, and one of the best substances for restoring liver is reishi, the reishi mushroom. And so I use that in some formulas, so, that's always good to help the liver. Your liver, if you're not processing food, then the liver gets everything. The liver's like, hey, I have to clean up everything.
Right.
If it doesn't, remember, if we don't get digestion right from the mouth to that stomach, then we're going to get that situation. So we come back to, are you able to break down, digest, and disinfect your food? I want to get people on HCl detox. I want them to be able to break it down so the liver's not overwhelmed.
Right.
And what we know about reishi is it works fabulously, but we want to make sure your pH is in an ideal range. So what do we know when our pH is out of range? It means that we are now breaking down our bone to buffer our blood, to create to raise the pH, and we're using the alkaline minerals that are in our bones, and then they go in the wrong place. See? Do you see what's happening?
Yeah, I do.
We're breaking down our bone because we don't get the proper minerals in our food. And this is why you and I have just really tried to say, what's the real cause? What's the root cause of why everyone's having these issues?
That's really was the description of cereals. Cereals are so anti-nutrient that it actually, just to digest the cereals, it actually is taking nutrients out of your body, and specifically the bones.
And if you're low in stomach acid and you're not able to cleave the nutrition from your food. So we talked about psoriasis a little bit there. We'd get you on HCl, we'd get you on reishi, blah, blah, blah. We'd get you out in the sun, get you on good essential fatty acids, and replace your bad fats. Ground you to the earth, just get it all done. So kind of wanted me to say, we finished up last week and this week a little bit on autoimmunity. Now, this is my opinion, and this is the opinion of some researchers. It's kind of sad in America because, we refer to a lot of illnesses as autoimmune disorders. Yeah. And I don't want to, insult anyone who wants to hang on to their disease label. I want you to just understand that something isn't right. Your body has got too much of something it doesn't need, not enough of the things that it does need, and it's got some stressors that are interfering from it doing what it needs to do. But if you want to know the truth, in Cambridge University, 10, 15 years ago, researchers found that all of these things that we are classifying as autoimmune in the United States, because we are in a minority in the United States, and the rest of the world, they don't buy into this whole autoimmunity. Right. Keep in mind, autoimmunity has created a fabulous environment for selling drugs because they never fix it, right? There's nothing we can do. Your body's attacking yourself. But if you really think about it, we wouldn't live to be 20, 30 years old if we had an immune system that didn't know what it was doing. So what they found, let me get back to what they found at Cambridge University, that the majority of these diseases that we are calling autoimmune disorders have a stealth infectious bug at the root. Okay. So what is that? Comes back to the body doesn't have enough nutrition to put up the defenses to fight off the excess toxicity, and it's stressed. Okay. So we work on all of those things.
Overloaded with toxins. Your body's so busy it can't really get to the normal maintenance. It can't even cure that part.
Right. So, Dr. Marshall.
One of the questions was, how do you spell the reishi?
Reishi. Let me see. How do I spell? R-E-I-S-H-I. Okay. And I use it in a couple of liver tonifying substances, but in Chinese medicine, we know that reishi is the king of the liver, and actually a lot of other illnesses are very well eradicated. It's used in a lot of cancer protocols.
Is it an herb?
It's a mushroom.
It's a mushroom. Okay, the reishi mushroom. Okay.
But, what Dr. Marshall's taught me is that, in reality, if you really think about it, our immune system is one slick system. But the American diet is one huge nightmare. Yeah. And, and that's part of the reason why we're coming out with our nutrition product.
I have it sitting here, folks, and the reason we just got a sample bottle. We haven't actually tried it yet. We're going to try it today out of this bottle. But the label is here. We got a couple of little fixes because I have a hard time reading some of this in the back. There's a lot of information.
It's a huge supplement label because we do have a lot of stuff in there, but we want to make sure it's easy to read. But
we're going to have this for sale soon, and people who are interested in this, you can email us. We'll put you on the list. I think by the end of August, August, we'll have this stuff in stock and start selling it. It's going to be pretty reasonable. I think we're talking about $120 if you buy them singly, but if you do it on an auto ship basis, it's going to be down to $89. We got it. It's very expensive stuff in here, but I'm telling you, it's so clean, and it's going to be delivered to you in such a way that you're going to get all the nutrients 99% in the cells, which is the most important thing.
It's cell ready, ionic, properly charged with fulvicumic, and you guys, we're going to spend a lot of time educating you on this. And you know, when we didn't just stick things in there that were going to be the unusable forms of nutritional products, which so much is the case with these. We wanted them to be cell ready and be able to be used. So we'll get back to that.
I've been using products that are not as good as this. They're spending more money. I know one of the things that my wife and I were both using was reaching over $100 a month just on one single product, and then I had to add other things into it. So I started spending like $250, $350, you know, on supplements to get the right mix, and now we've got it in one container, and if you're healthy, this is all you need. If you need extra help, then you can add a little bit more omega-3 and a couple of other things in there.
And there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about, you know, with that, but
I'm so excited about this, and it's a beautiful label, and it's got the Primal Edge, which is the picture in there, and I just love it.
If we can help us get the nutrition that we need, remember what I said, it's really as simple as that. We don't have enough of the right nutrition that we need. We have too much toxic items in our world today. And then there's stressors, physical, mental, emotional, that are interfering with our body. But let's empower the body to do it. The body can do the work. So I did get a question from someone about aortic stenosis, and it's an A, so I'm going to go over that.
Okay.
You know, of course we can do surgery when we have aortic stenosis. What is aortic stenosis? It's a calcification of the aorta, right? Right. And what we learned from the other talks is that whenever we have calcification in our arteries, or calcification in our eyes called cataracts, or calcifications in our end parts of our joints, you know,
as a result of glycation?
Well, glycation plays a role, but really what we've got is calcification. The calcium that we're seeing is not a result of, the first thing mainstream doctors who aren't really trained in nutrition will say is, cut back on your dairy products and stop taking your calcium supplements, when in fact you probably have raging osteoporosis, and you have a raging acid imbalance, and your body is trying desperately to balance the lack of minerals that you have. So it is going to do what it does, it decomposes your bone. The problem is when it decomposes your bone is it's in a form that your body says, well, what do I do with the rest of this? You know, I'm supposed to be getting this from plant-based ancient minerals, you know, that have been broken down so I can use it. This is bone. I got my pH so that I didn't die. But, oh, I guess I'll stick these extra nutrients in the heart. I'll stick them in the eyes and you get cataracts, joint stiffness. Oh, I'll get a bone spur or a kidney stone. So all of these things are actually a situation that you do not have.
Your body can't get rid of them, so it has to store it somewhere inside the body.
It's non-threatening to your life.
Right.
See?
Right.
Well, actually, aortic stenosis, you could probably say that could be.
That could be,
but, you know, that's we're talking about some serious issues there, and, you know, there's other things going on. So what other things do we know? You know, obviously, if you're more than 90% blocked, you know, you probably do need to work with an emergency situation, which is surgery. But any calcification, guys, bones, eyes, arteries, joints, is a sign that you have what? Low HCl. Okay? You're low in minerals. You haven't been able to cleave your minerals from your food. So again, it all comes back to not being, because we were originally designed to eat raw food, but we're eating cooked foods. Now, guys, we still need to cook our food because of some of the situations with, you know, bacteria and so forth. But we've just, you know, we've exhausted our enzymes and our ability to produce these natural substances that allow us to get our nutrition from our food. And you know, if you take HCl, you can clear some of these deposits. That's why I put on the HCl detox kit.
Right.
So, yeah, you know, there's other things we can do to help clear out the arteries you know, with stenosis. You've heard me talk about a little shot of pomegranate juice that can kind of reduce that. But run out of time on this segment, but we're making our progress.
We'll be right back, folks. Stick around.
Okay, so I didn't even get to my bees, but...
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Up next, the Diagnostics Trading Hour with Daryl Martin here on TFNN.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle, folks. It's Nico and Paige here. And, every year the Sleep Foundation puts out a survey to find out how well Americans are sleeping.
And we're not doing too good, are we?
No, it's more than 60% of Americans report that they aren't getting enough sleep. And, of course, we've talked in the past about darkening the room and getting yourself ready. Doing less electronics, not having any light in there, maybe going through a little ritual, which I do. I usually get in my massage chair, have a light massage, get on my heating pad a little bit, and then I'll go to bed. But, this is something I hadn't heard before, is talking about what to eat before bedtime and what not to eat. So I thought I'd run this by you because I hadn't heard it. So never have cured meats and aged cheese. Things like pepperoni, smoked fish, Parmesan cheese, things like that have a chemical named
tyramine
in it that stimulates your brain, which makes it much more difficult to go to sleep.
So don't have a big hoagie.
That's right. So instead, have some walnuts. If you're looking for a late-night protein fix, try munching some of these. They'll actually...
the good healthy fats, vitamin
it's a good source of tryptophan, and those kind of sleep-inducing hormones will help you. Never have raw broccoli, cauliflower, or carrots. These foods will keep you up for a long time because it takes a lot to digest those. So instead, have some kale or spinach, which are easier to digest. Have some calcium in there that helps your brain produce melatonin. Never have dark chocolate. Ooh.
Now that's weird because I actually thought that dark chocolate, because of the magnesium content,
will help you.
But it's the theobromine, I bet you.
Well, and the caffeine.
Yeah, and the
There's
caffeine.
a little caffeine in there. So instead, have some cherries. Cherries have the right combination in there of the source of melatonin for you. So never have alcohol.
But we all know that. You can pretty much...
And how many people have a nightcap? I mean,
they think it helps them fall asleep, but it doesn't help them stay asleep. Because you know why?
A couple
if you
hours
don't stay asleep, you know that liver gallbladder processes all that stuff, and then it
wakes
says,
you up.
Where's the rest?
Yeah,
it wakes you up.
Yeah, and it really happens to me. So I try to drink any alcohol that I have on Saturday, starting about 4 o'clock and ending it before like 6 or 7.
And my new rule is, my rule, because it's coming up on the weekend, is with food. You know, I just think
there's no rhyme. Where's the rhyme?
yeah, I know. I haven't thought about it. My rule is technically with me, have that glass of wine. Someone said in the chat room, I just wanted to say, was talking about tequila and having the worm, but the idea is I actually know a doctor, a world-famous doctor, Mark Limponis. He helped Dr. Hyman. They were partners at one time at Canyon Ranch, and my sister worked with him. And when I met him, he said he has his, white tequila every day because there are so many polyphenols. And we'll talk about the importance of that antioxidant group. So many polyphenols in tequila that it's really very helpful. So
a little tequila, a little salt, and a little bit of
use your
lime.
Use your healthy trace mineral-rich salt. Might not be a bad idea. Although I wouldn't necessarily do it right before you go to sleep.
No,
like
maybe a little calming tea would help in that situation. But so you can grab a handful of spinach, get some dried cherries, toasted walnuts, and drizzle a little raspberry vinaigrette on it, and you got a perfect little meal before an hour or so before going. It's not something I would do, but this gives you kind of clue of some of the things you should not be eating and some of the things that may help you.
And it's funny that, I know that you've always said that you would take a teaspoon of the seasonal raw honey.
Yeah.
And we know that there's a lot of people in the world that do that. And, you would think, that could be stimulating because it's sugar, but there's other things in it that just
it helps you convert the sleepy time kind of hormones. The melatonin your serotonin gets converted to the melatonin to help you. So carbohydrates, again, are real helpful to help you sleep as long as you don't take a lot of them. So you just need a little bit. So that's where your carbohydrates are really good.
And that cherry, I was going to tell you guys, that's one of my favorites. I was glad you brought that up because it was on my list too. That helps you create your natural source of melatonin, but it's very anti-aging because it has high antioxidants.
Folks, please pick up our Health Signals newsletter, and the Bradenton people will see you tomorrow. So
have a great weekend. See you next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.